Ready to find your flow? AFSA's got you covered.
That's right. The hands-on training lab in Richardson, Texas is where you trade PowerPoints for pipe wrenches. Real tools, real systems, and real experience you can actually use.
And if you're ready to test your skills, check out the hands-on NFPA 25 workshops, where you'll inspect, test, and maintain live sprinkler systems and fire pumps. No simulations, no fluff, just pressure, flow, and know-how.
It's the perfect way to get under pressure without cracking under it.
So get fired up and register today at firesprinkler.org. Spots fill faster than a charged branch line.
AFSA, where you don't just learn the code, you live it. Welcome to the K-Factor podcast, where we turn up the heat on all things fire protection. Brought to you by the American Fire Sprinkler Association, this podcast sparks conversations about the latest technology, trends, and tools shaping the industry. Join the AFSA tech team as we fan the flames of innovation in fire safety. Welcome to the K-Factor and AFSA Tech Talk. My name is Nate Williams. I'm here with Eric Andreessen, Josh McDonald, and the VP of Education, Leslie Clounts. And I'm going to turn the time over to Josh and Leslie, and they're going to get us kicked off for today.
Hey, appreciate it. Thank you for being with us, Leslie.
Thank you.
So we'd like to start with kind of knowing your path and getting into adult education with AFSA and what that's been like and how'd you get into it?
Well, I kind of fumbled my way around into it, really. I started with AFSA over 20 years ago, over 25 years ago.
2.5 years ago, right?
Yeah. There's a decimal point.
There's a decimal.
And didn't intend to stay this long, but was able to grow in what I wanted to do. If I wanted to go, I started kind of going from more admin duties into seminars and continuing education, and got to work with lots of third-party speakers and a lot of industry minds to produce and present training for AFSA, and then started getting involved in the convention, that aspect of it as well, and then got brought into one of the sprinkler fitting updates. So they get updated, and by that I mean the sprinkler fitting apprenticeship training series that AFSA offers. And so when I got kind of drawn into that project, working with our former VP back in the day, Janet Knowles, and John Denhart was in on that, and we had Jay Strickland and other people. We would pull everybody together and update this, monster series, 4 levels, 4 years of, teaching someone with almost no knowledge to be a sprinkler fitter. So I started getting into that part of the education world, and then of course people think of other new ideas, things like ITM Inspector Development Program, and so I kind of helped to steer that project, and then you finish one thing and something else needs to get updated. So
never ending.
Exactly. So then the design project worked a little bit on that. And gosh, that one just keeps getting picked up and put back down.
We've got motion though.
Yeah, we've got motion. So yeah, I just kind of learned along the way of how to try to pull out all of that knowledge that these guys have and put it into a learnable format for those that looking to develop themselves. So, and then with the medium changing along the way from old, literally transparencies in the seminar rooms. Bob and Russ will tell you that. To
there's a story he might have thrown them out a couple times.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's like, no, we're not doing on this script.
3-ring binders of printed material. The old guys will tell you about wheeling in giant, milk crates to certification exams. Anyway,
which I don't get because the book could fit in your pocket. You keep saying that.
Like, remember, it got really big, and then anyway, and then just moving more into putting more things online, and then things like live webinars started coming along, and just the whole way of delivering the content has evolved over the years. And so just trying to keep up with that and meet the learner where they are with what they need.
So you mentioned the apprenticeship program, also our ITM development program. And I think sometimes when we're having conversations with people, education and training get lumped together. Mm-hmm. What would you, in your opinion, what's the difference?
Okay. Well, yeah, I do the same thing, admittedly. I lump them together a lot.
Me too. You're learning, we're teaching.
Yeah. And I guess I kind of see to put it kind of in a nutshell, is I see the training as a little bit more, one and done kind of a format, I guess. I came here for these objectives, and I'm good. The education, I think, is more comprehensive, is how I kind of view the two, as being a little different from each other.
So the longer term format then?
Yeah.
So if you had a magic wand, and you had to fix one big challenge in education right now, solve it immediately, especially fire protection, it just always seems like it's changing and moving, and our contractors needs. Gosh, if I could take a wand and make 3 or 4 more Veronicas. Okay. Yeah, Veronica's great.
Yeah. Yep. Our technical writing specialist, she has a real talent for making herself the student.
Right.
And pulling what she needs from those subject matter experts. Talk to me as if I don't know anything at all. Tell me everything. And then, so if I could have more of her and put 1 or 2 on each project, because some of them
we've only got one wand here, Leslie.
Well, I guess that's what it would be, though, because there's so many projects in different phases, so I'd love to see more of them get completed.
So how does the process, or how do we figure out, or as you've gone through this, that we need an education program?
How do we determine if we
How do you
need
determine it?
an education program?
Or how have we?
I'll use the ITM as the most recent example. It came from member feedback. For the longest time, we, were the ace in the hole when it came to apprenticeship with the sprinkler fitting series. I mean, that's why we were even founded. And then we offered so many methods of learning design. But there was a big gap there with ITM as that market started really kind of growing, and contractors started seeing, the benefits of growing those divisions. So, I think it was member feedback from surveys and things like that, and members telling staff and board members and things like that, we're looking for more formalized training. There wasn't anything on the market. So identified that need, pulled the team together, and made it happen.
The need for the recurring revenue, they need, like the inspections, realize you need to start getting certified.
That right there, when you start to realize more states are requiring the certification, well, then they need the training to obtain that. So, and there really wasn't much. And something more hands-on like that, it can't get it all from an online course.
What's been the most exciting project you've worked on? Besides this ITM development update that we're currently in the midst of?
I guess one that I don't spearhead, but I get to be involved with, and it's annually, is the competition, the apprentice competition. Seeing each year go into its cycle of, a pool of 200 plus apprentices. Maybe some of them aren't even sure what they're doing. What is this competition? What am I, my boss told me I need to do it. And then anyway, a few months later, it culminates in this really exciting competition in the middle of the AFSA exhibit hall. Everybody's all excited to see it, and then winner is crowned. And so that's kind of cool to see every year.
Very unique program that runs. So what does your department do? Right? You've got a bunch of different staff working on a bunch of different tasks. If one of our listeners, or if the contractor's calling up and I need to talk to the education department, right?
Kind of broad, big subject there, right?
Right.
So live webinars. We coordinate the scheduling and registration, all of that for all the live webinars. Those eventually get turned into on-demand courses. So those get put onto the website for on-demand purchase for your continuing education. Then we administer the ITM Inspector Development Program. We will have anywhere between 6 or 7 cycles going on at different intervals at the same time. So tracking who's where and keeping them all going to get them to the finish line. We've got, of course, the apprenticeship training, which is kind of now kind of divided into 2 categories with the curriculum method, which is what we've always offered. That lets the contractor or the employer determine how they administer their apprenticeship training based on what they need in their region. And then there's the other apprenticeship method of VIP, virtual instruction program, which we introduced the year before last, I think. And so what that does is take the same curriculum that everyone is using, same tests, same books, but you let AFSA deliver the related technical instruction, the classroom instruction by way of webinar. And so that's also one of those where you got some multiple ongoing cycles of students in various, parts of the program and pushing them all along to the finish line to get them at the end of their course level and hopefully move on to the next one. So we're doing that.
So I don't think you're doing enough. You're not even done with the list, I don't think.
And then, just my team could tell you the questions, because it is, I have a question about it's something very, just out of the blue. I tell them all the time, you think you've heard it all, and you have not. Whatever it may be, wherever that person is in their journey of their development, what they've been told they need, all of a sudden this certification, or I'm up against this deadline, I need these hours, and so yeah, fielding all of those questions. And
PSA, if you have a certification, get your training done as soon as you get the certification. I think we've all been there. You got 3-year time limit, and then you're like, oh, I've only got 6 months left.
Yeah, everybody waits till the last minute. And it's not good. It's not good. The other thing I like to do, another fun part is all the convention seminars. Yeah. Cramming about 55 plus into a 4-day schedule. That's fun.
The amount seems to increase every year too.
Yeah, but I mean these brainiacs out there come up with some really good topics, and the feedback from the attendees is overwhelmingly positive, so we're doing something right.
For sure.
So he keeps seeming to come up with new content each year even.
So can you give a little bit more insight on how that process works as far as selecting topics and kind of how we do go through that list of potential topics and pick our speakers?
Yeah, great timing because the call is open now. So Eric, if you have any suggestions for AFSA 44 in DC next year, there is a link where anybody is welcome to submit your idea for a proposed topic, or forward it on to a colleague if you're not the one that wants to do it, but somebody else who would be great for that.
So volunteer somebody.
Exactly. That's right. Send them the link.
Eric, you're doing 4 this year.
Perfect. And then that link will give you an opportunity to tell us what it is, what you have in mind, how this will benefit the AFSA audience. And then we look at everything. Everything gets looked at. And we're looking for the obvious technical topics, but also our attendees like a lot of business management content as well. So picking some of those, and we see more. I think we see more, field personnel attend, depending on the location of where the event is. But if it's a populated area like DC, I expect to see a lot more, middle management or, field personnel come rather than just the top management like we might normally see. So offering something for everybody is great. But when those proposals all come in, we have this year's due date is January 10th. And then I'll work with technical services here on staff to try and figure out, a good proposed schedule, a good mix of flavors, right? And then everything gets presented to the AFSA convention committee, and they'll do, provide their input with what they'd like to see. We take in, feedback from attendees from years past, what they liked and didn't like, and hopefully come up with a really good lineup.
So what has changed in education major change from the beginning when you started to now in, I guess it's almost 2025?
The technology is probably the biggest part that's changed, right? Like how it's delivered. You're able to meet the learner where they are, which is especially important with our biggest group of learners, which are the apprentices. We'll have over 1,200, active apprentices every year, sometimes over 1,500, I think was my last count. And being able to provide that training that they need wherever they are, whenever they decide they can get to it. Because we understand, they're juggling personal lives and their work lives, and the training is like sometimes third to that. So if we can make it convenient and available, whether they're on the job site, they're at a hotel, at a job out of town,
at lunch,
cab of their truck, they're at lunch, the pickup line at school waiting on their kid. That's trying to make that available. We weren't able to do that before.
How are we stepping towards that direction, and what's that process been like?
Stepping towards the direction
it started where you didn't have that media, right? We couldn't get to them anywhere they are. Where do you see it headed?
I hope to be able to make it even more interactive, where there's more back and forth, give and take between the content, whether it's a live instructor delivering the content, or it's something more asynchronous, or whatever that content is, whether it's audio or video, just making it more interactive, so that you can get responses and comprehension from that student, and they're getting feedback also from the trainings. Yeah, I got this. I understand this. I'm ready for the next level.
What's your favorite part of your job? And is there anything specifically that stands out, a moment that you're like, I know you kind of fell into this, but you're like, okay, I can stay here a little while?
A moment, I guess I was just telling somebody earlier today, I can't remember if it was Nate or somebody, being here a long time and seeing a lot of things change over the years with the association. We're governed by board of directors and committees and rotation of different individuals that come and go. A great moment, I'll say, was when we got our current president, Bob. We had all been under the direction of a longtime president before that, who did very well. And then we had some rocky times during the transition. And I wasn't sure where the association was heading, and was questioning my own future here because of all of that. But then when the board decided to put someone like Bob at the helm, whose love for the industry is very evident, and if he may be a little unconventional and say some funny things.
Great description.
Say some funny things or off-color things, or anyway. But I've worked with him a long time, and so if you know where his heart is with the members, then that makes it easy to get behind him and follow his lead. So that was a good moment there when he came in. Did that answer the
Yeah,
question?
that did.
Okay.
I mean, also kind of took off and pace seemed to pick up. And
Yeah.
I've only been here 3 years, but it feels like a solid 6 or 7 just with what we've done.
I'm telling you, I feel like he's trying to make up for lost time or something, because he worked, as an instructor for AFSA for all those years, and I'm sure he came in with all these ideas of everything he wished we'd do, and then he's just cramming it.
And it's starting to happen.
Yeah. Which is exciting.
So how do you ensure that our education's staying up to date? What's the process, the procedure look like? I know that's funny, and the inside joke is we're currently working on an update, and well, 3 of us in the room. Nate, unfortunately for Nate, hasn't had to be involved in it, but we're trying to figure out which edition to go to because 2026 is out, and
Yeah. A lot of it is, if you take the ITM program, for example, we want those students to be able to obtain, their NICET. So when NICET lets us know that things are going to be updated, well, that definitely helps to, give us some milestones and deadlines by which to get things ready for those students that are taking level 1 and 2 exams. Things design, like the design program, is such a huge, there's so much content there. What we're currently doing is taking an old 3-level correspondence style course in a printed format.
it's old.
Last edition was based on the 1999 edition of NFPA 13.
Looks like it was printed then.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. No color photos, nothing like that.
Right before Y2K.
Yeah. But taking all of that and bringing it into this century, updating it to, I think we're doing the 22 edition of 13, I think. But it just seems like even as you're going through it and then a new edition comes out.
2025's out.
Yep. So when you take big things like that and trying to get them pushed through, it's tough. The same thing happened in 2010, 2007, I remember, 2012, where we were able to pull parts of it out, put it online, get it up to date to that year, and then had to push pause for whatever reason. Something else came up.
Right.
And anyway, then that all, of course, got outdated. So you basically go back to the only A to Z that you have, which is the 3-level one from 99, and take that and try to update it. So thankfully, we got some really good people, some subject matter experts that really care about this. They know they see it all the time for themselves, the need for trained designers to get some sort of formal instruction, not just on the job. Here's the 13, figure it out,
So it's not just staff working on this.
Mm-hmm. Right. No, we couldn't do it without members. None of this really is possible. Not the sprinkler fitting apprenticeship, not the ITM, and not this design training without the members. And we've got volunteers that meet for this design training. We meet every 2 weeks virtually. We go over, the lesson that's been, been worked on. We'll have a primary and a secondary, tackling a certain lesson, and then the whole team will come together and provide feedback. So it's very collaborative. It's not run by any 1 or 2 people. So in the hopes of getting, not just, we want representation from across the country, what the East Coast guys are dealing with. We want to know what the West Coast guys are also dealing with. Or
The East Coast is the best coast.
I knew you were going to say that. But also like the smaller companies and the larger companies, they all have their own challenges. So trying to make the best training to, help the most people. We're not going to make everybody happy, but we could try.
So this, how soon do you start working with the apprentices for apprenticeship competition? And what does that interaction look like? Because I guess it's been Nate's first year, and he notices that the week that he was there, that there was some fairly decent growth and kind of a community bond.
Yeah. We try to, everybody's going to hear about it starting in probably March and April. We're really going to push it. We had historically only really promoted it to employers, but now with VIP and with the online learning management system, the Canvas that we're using for apprenticeship testing, we're able to communicate more directly with apprentices than we had before. So we're able to make sure that apprentices will post announcements. Will in the webinars, you're going to see previews of what it looks like, deadlines, prizes, all of the fun things. So starting in March and April, you'll hear more about the competition, and then it will open up. And by that I mean any apprentice and any level of the apprenticeship training is eligible to try it out. It costs nothing.
So I can sign up?
No, you're not enrolled.
I'm going to have to enroll.
You're not enrolled.
I just thought it would be fun to put somebody from staff on the competition floor. We start with Bob.
We've talked
John
about that,
Denhart.
haven't we? Yeah, like having another.
Yeah, but you're a bum. I don't know if you'd work out.
I mean, they'd probably dust me, but it's all good.
No doubt. No doubt.
It'd be fun.
It is a lot of fun when you narrow it down to the final 7, and they get there, and it kind of size each other up, and
they're having a beer together.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So how has the feedback been? Is VIP program's relatively new. Mm-hmm. So what are you hearing from the people who are attending or those who are sending some of their people through?
Well, they keep signing up for it, so we must be doing something right. I mean, we're rolling out level 3 in the first quarter next year, and those it's basically following the same kind of group of students there that started with us in our very first level 1 class. So the fact that they keep continuing tells us we're doing something right. And, we keep filling up. We're not selling out just yet.
Right.
But I think we're going to get there. And then, of course, the beauty of the virtual learning environment, you can accommodate quite a few students. So we're trying to keep in touch, close contact with the employer, too. We want to hear from the employer on, are you seeing results? Are you
what
seeing,
you need?
Yeah. Where do we need to improve, that sort of thing. Because we know we're not done with it. This is definitely something we want to continue to improve upon. But right now, it's making for a very busy schedule. Every class has its own, day. So, for example, level 3, I think their webinar day is going to be 2 Wednesdays a month. And they get to, each of those 2 Wednesdays, we will present the same lesson twice, one in the AM, one in the PM, so they get to pick. You don't have to go to both, but just pick which one works for you and attend that. And then you only have to do it twice a month for 10 months. Then you're done with that.
Plenty of time to work and get your on-the-job training.
Exactly. Yeah, so hopefully we're not cutting into, the employer's schedule too much. But that was, we want to provide the formal instruction that a lot of companies, it's a challenge, to find the instructor there on staff to do that. So if we can take that part on for you and let you focus on the field training, which you have access to 5 days a week, then maybe the two combined will, get us the best apprentices and keep them moving through it as well. The challenge we see with the curriculum method is there's no predetermined start and end date. Some companies are great about, setting those course expectations, but some companies are just a little bit more fluid about it, and they don't get the results or the completions that they are hoping for.
Yeah, maybe the training person's the more experienced is the most productive, so you try to set a time aside, and then you need them to go out in the field, do something. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So this is the VIP program. I don't want to misspeak, but I do know it's Department of Labor, something to do with the Department of Labor. Mm-hmm. Could you tell me a little bit about that?
Well, so a lot of parts of the country, depending on the type of work that you're doing, you need to have your apprentices registered in an apprenticeship program, whether it's federally registered or it's state. And the VIP program in and of itself, just like the curriculum method, will not satisfy that requirement. but it provides the curriculum for the employer to be able to register their own program.
Okay.
So, that piece is in place. And then AFSA took it another step forward probably just over a year and a half ago when we registered our national guideline standards with the Department of Labor. And what that is, we're not an employer, so we cannot register an apprenticeship program like employers can, but we can register national guideline standards. And what I tell people is it kind of gets you halfway there, and then any federal apprenticeship training representative that you speak to and you say, I'm interested in registering my apprenticeship program, what do? You tell them, I want to do AFSA's national guideline standards. They should be able to look it up in their system. And then all you do then after that is just kind of fill in things like your, wages that you intend to pay, safety that you intend to, the safety training you intend to provide, and any other blanks that they need you to fill to get it the rest of the way through. So,
if you had one piece of advice for your younger self about working in the fire protection industry, what would it be? Whether serious, funny, either way.
Yeah, I guess just have more fun with it. I think I took myself too seriously, and it might have been just the culture of like the work environment back then. Things are more relaxed, or I am, one of the two.
Could be a combo.
And, yeah, but there was. I guess nowadays in the industry, you see, you hear a lot. It's a family feel, right, at some of these events. It wasn't always like that, I don't feel like. So I'm glad to see that.
Yeah.
Maybe it means that we all just kind of relaxed a little bit and had more fun.
I'm starting to notice that it also, for me personally, might just be age. Like, as you get older.
I'm telling you,
just like...
Yeah, that's why I said that. I think I'm just relaxed more, maybe. You can tell your younger self, just chill out.
Just chill out. Just do your job, keep moving, have a little fun.
But I don't think you have that confidence at that time yet to be confident enough in your performance and what you have to contribute to chill out. You're constantly blowing and going and gunning and impressing and thinking you are. Till you get to that age where you're like, well, I am or I'm not. So is what it is.
And it's just similar. And I've been here for a couple of years now, so it can be that bad.
Yeah, I must be doing something right, I guess.
So let us know a little bit about this. The ITM development program seems to be very successful, and seems to be another program that started a while back but continues to push through. What do you think makes it so successful? And a little bit about it.
Yeah, I think we rolled it out in 2015, and it took a long time to get it, to get the word out for something new like that, and to get people to understand what it meant. Because it's a commitment, but I think what attracts people to it is the certification that we try to encourage the students to obtain, which is the 9-1 and 2 along the way through the training, and also that part of providing the formal instruction that the employer may not have the bandwidth to do themselves. So if they being the employer, just give their student, their employee, some time to, get their training completed, attend the webinars, just a little bit here and there, come to the classes if we're doing something in person, it pays off, in the long run. It's grown so much that we've been selling out. We kick off a spring class, and a fall class each year. We've been able to sell those out consistently for probably the last 5 years. And then so much so that we're adding a third one for the first time, as you know.
Let's go.
Next year. Yeah, so spring, summer, fall. We'll take you all.
Is that a new slogan I hear? AFSA? No.
I think there's a song in there somewhere. But yeah, so hopefully we'll see those classes fill up. and be able to accommodate everybody, because I know if you talk to any of the graduates, I see them sometimes at chapter events or the convention, and to see them, getting promoted up within their company, because they continue to develop themselves. They're going for level 3 and things like that. It's always good to see, that kind of progression.
Well, and it's really neat at this point. I've been with the organization long enough that some of the students that I started with have now graduated, and starting to see some of them become mentors for the next group has been kind of exciting.
Yeah.
So they've been kind of neat to watch. So I've enjoyed that, but I feel like that's maybe the trend that we're starting to go towards, is as we get more people trained, they're starting to become the trainers, especially as we start to turn over more people in the industry. So I think it's probably a good thing for everybody, but we got to have that training. Yeah, building a culture, getting that training, updating to the newer standards, since we do change the book so often.
Yeah, would you stop submitting inputs? Kevin Hall, if you're out there, knock it off. No.
We're good.
But the interesting thing too with the addition of the lab is, if I'm sure out in the field when you're getting trained, is, hey, that's a main drain. Go turn that main drain.
Yes, I happen to have a main drain right here. Yeah. Let's go look at it. That's gonna take everything next level. I'm super excited about using the hell out of that lab for sure, for anybody coming through here. To be centrally located where we are and be able to put any class through there, whether you're designing or you're inspecting, whatever.
Fitting.
I think that's fabulous. And then also, like we talked about, when it comes to our online content, being able to say, oh, I want a video real quick. I want to demonstrate how this works. I'm going to run to the lab. I'm going to get it on film and plug it in. Yep. So having those resources is going to take it next level for sure.
And into that culture change that I think that education, specifically, of course, our education programs brings, is you'll see as these groups go together, this almost family network building. And there's always kind of the contractors like, oh, I'm going to send my person with 5 other companies and they're going to communicate. And you'll notice that it's not really like that. Of course, they're discussing what's going on between the different locations. But that 20-month program, you could have sworn that they've built a friendship that has been there for 10, 15 years. Yeah. It's pretty impressive. And then Leslie and Eric goes and parties with them at the end of graduation, right?
Absolutely.
That's right.
No alcoholic beverages at all.
No. After putting up with us for 20 months, I think it was the least we could do.
Buy him a drink.
I mean, we kind of have to push and prod a little bit because we understand these guys are busy. Yeah. But, we've seen really great results from it.
So, and do you have any questions on that ITM? You're kind of new to the ITM development program. I know you've been a year and a half, but that process, or...
I mean, we've made a lot of changes in the year and a half.
The year and a half you've been here?
Mm-hmm.
So, I think we took the in-person weeks from 2 weeks apiece down to 1 week apiece, and now that we've got the lab, just trying to coordinate those. Mm-hmm. But it's been a lot of fun making those changes, and then now as we go through the updates, it's going to be fun. As Leslie mentioned, just trying to bring all of our training up to current, even with how we're presenting it. So it's been fun, and I'm excited for the changes. But I know Leslie, every time we go to talk, is, how are we coming on the updates? So I think we're both glad to be getting that moving.
Well, the great thing is, when something comes up, you guys, you as instructors, y'all are constantly staying on top of changes, even if they're not even adopted changes yet, but what may or may not be coming, so that you can communicate that to the students. So even if it's not something that's been formalized in an online lesson or something
Beautiful
like that.
Slide.
Yes. We can take out from your brain there and present it in a webinar or in the classroom, so that these guys still walk away with, what they need to know for practical application when they get back.
So where do you get your instructors for the virtual instructional program?
Gosh, do you know any?
I don't. I was asking you.
We're always looking for more.
I think you're being recruited there, John.
We started, we keep a call open for instructors, so we're always looking for new talent. because these classes are growing and we don't want to burn out anybody that's currently doing it for us. They're phenomenal instructors. I've listened to many of them. Some of them we approached because I just knew that they were running successful apprenticeship classes there at their company, and they've graciously agreed to share their knowledge and their talent for teaching with our apprentices nationwide. So some of them we got that way. Some of them reached out to us, and we've been able to, kind of spread it around so no one's overloaded with anything. It's only two classes a month per level, but like as the levels keep getting added, then it can add up. So if anyone's out there listening to this and you're thinking, I want to teach, but I don't want to travel anywhere, I want to do it from the comfort of my home, my office, and I think I've got something to offer the young apprentices today, then they should reach out to me as soon as possible.
How do they do that?
They can email me, lclounts@firesprinkler.org, or call me. The main number, 214-349-5965, extension 130.
Wow, that was impressive.
Well, I've said it a few times over the years.
So is there anything else you'd like to talk about while we're getting ready to tie this thing up? Not the Dallas Cowboys, I'm sure.
Not with you around. We know where you stand.
We're already eliminated from the playoffs, so can't say much right now.
I'll always wrap up with something like can't do any of this without the members.
Sure.
We're not who we are without the members. We don't. Every direction that we take is because of member feedback. So if we're not doing something, right, or there's something we're missing, we want to know about it. We want to be the premier training resource, for all fire sprinkler contractors. So, if you have ideas, share them. If you want to get involved, please get involved. If you're not sure how to get involved, call me, and I'd be happy to go over some different ways to do that. There's always opportunities for chapter involvement, writing articles, teaching if that's your thing, mentoring next generation, those incoming, recruiting, spreading more information about our industry. It seems like we're just this little corner of the construction world that often gets overlooked, but I think it's a very honorable part, the fire protection part of it. I mean, that's kind of a cool job to say that you get to do that every day. So, yeah, whatever we can do here from the staff perspective to make, those jobs easier or teach you more, then we want to know about it.
This has been the K Factor Podcast. If you enjoyed the show, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share wherever you tune in to podcasts, or head over to our website for more. Reach out to us anytime at technical@firesprinkler.org. Stay safe and always learn as we keep the fire protection conversation going.